Hey guys, happy Friday. It's Daryl. It is about 9:30. It's mid-morning and I've been doing a little more thinking. I was thinking about the goals of for the next election. For me and people like me. I'll just be straightforward and honest. One of my hopes is to have Trump removed from office. I see him as a danger to the country. I see him as a disgrace, an embarrassment to the country, and that would be my hope to have him out of office. So I started thinking how to bridge the gap between Democrats and Republicans. I started thinking a little more, and then I realized that I think these days that it's not really Republicans anymore. What we really have now is Democrats, a smaller group of classic, what used to be Republicans, and then we have Trump supporters. To me, a lot of Trump supporters aren't really Republicans. To me, a lot of them seem to be people that don't know a whole lot about the Republican philosophy and the Republican goals and all that. I think they were very angry. I don't think they're very up on the news. And like I said before, I think they voted out of spite for Trump. I think a lot of them might have racist issues. A lot of them are angry about their jobs, about their life. I think a lot of them voted for Trump as a way to throw a wrench into the system, into a broken system, and just make it all go to hell. That's what I see. I don't see Trump supporters as the classic Republicans at all. The more I thought about this, I used to be an independent, and there's a lot of Republican stances that I agree with, that I somewhat agree with. Like I've told you guys before, I was raised with guns. I don't have anything against guns. Should there be background checks? Yeah. And mentally deficient people owning guns, that's a problem. People with addictions owning guns, that's a problem. People that have been arrested for domestic violence, that's a big problem. But guns in general, no. I own guns. I don't have a problem with guns. There's a lot of Republican stances that I don't necessarily have a problem with. The death penalty. I think there's some cases where there's not much else we can do, where it is called for. In the case like say Jeffrey Dahmer and some John Wayne Gacy, some of these guys just they need to, I know it's not up to us, but it's not up to us to judge to judge about whose life needs to be ended, but in some cases. Anyway, and I started thinking, and I think Republicans, people that are classic Republicans, I can talk to. I can debate with. I can discuss philosophies where we fall short. And work things out with Republicans. With Trump supporters, I can't. I'll be honest with you guys. With Trump supporters, I don't even like to say this, but I don't have respect for Trump and the people that support him. And his attitude is the name calling. I could list 100 things. I have no respect for the man, and I really don't have any respect for his supporters. So what I did here, I did a little. I have visual aids. Okay, we used to, in the older days, we used to have, this was in the past days, we had Democrats, we had independents, and then we had Republicans. But now, it seems like we have Democrats and independents kind of thrown together, then Republicans, and way over here we have Trump supporters. You see what I'm saying here? To me, Trump supporters seem to be the far right, unreachable demographic. So I started thinking, if people like me were to succeed in taking Trump out of office, how do we do that? And by looking at this, I don't think it is by. I think Trump supporters are going to stay Trump supporters. I think possibly working with the classic Republicans that aren't happy with Trump, that are disgusted and disgraced by Trump. If there are, I don't know how many there are. I don't know what that demographic is, but I'm sure they must be out there. The classic Republicans that voted for Reagan or I don't know. I don't want to say Nixon, but and that still kind of have some pride and morals left and aren't happy with Trump. There must be some out there. So I started thinking that by bridging the gap with those people that may have voted for Trump but aren't happy with his demeanor, with his character, with his personality, those people, I feel like the Democrats and the independents, we need to pull all together as one unit. So it would be the Democrats, independent, and the dissatisfied Republicans that aren't happy with the disgraceful way that Trump has been dealing with things. And then I think we would have a strong, big enough voting bloc to knock out the Trump supporters. So how do we do this? People talk about middle of the road Democrats, or should we have a a more moderate Democrat, or should we have a far left, far leaning left, or radical, as they say, Democrat? And if what I've been thinking here holds true, then we would want to go with a more middle of the road Democrat, somebody that could bridge a gap between the dissatisfied Republicans and us, so we could more or less team up together and take out Trump. Like I said, this all came up in my thoughts of like I'm constantly thinking of ways that we could reach out, find middle ground between people like me that are worried, scared, concerned about the way the country's going, about the way our Constitution's being adhered to, people like me, and people that might vote for Trump or Republicans. Like I said, and then the more I thought about it, I started to come to the realization that there's Republicans and there's Trump supporters now. That party is more or less divided up, really. Because Trump supporters, I think, in the classic sense, they're more radical. I don't think they have a very firm grasp on what's going on these days. I don't think they pay very close attention to the news. I think they support their man regardless, and they will support him regardless of whatever he does. I think they're a very angry, unhappy voting bloc. But then, like I said, I started to think about the Republicans, and I know they're out there. The sensible Republicans that aren't necessarily happy. With this disgraceful. I mean, there's got to be Republicans out there that understand that using the Oval Office for personal gains is wrong. That mocking a handicapped reporter is wrong, and under no circumstance you can't turn a blind eye to that. That the way he's dealing with North Korea, his international diplomacy, shunning our old allies. There's got to be Republicans out there that realize that the country, that this is not the right way to handle the country. So I started thinking of a way to, because my friend Bo of the Fifth Column was talking about there's got to be a better way than just being anti-Trump. So like I said, I took that to heart. So instead of just listing all the reasons why I hate Trump and despise Trump and all that, I'm trying to think of logical ways to bridge the gap, A, and B, to ultimately defeat him in 2020 and try to get back to a sensible, sane government before all the United States credibility is lost, if it is, praying that it hasn't been already. So that's the gist of my thoughts for this morning. That perhaps pulling pulling away some of the classic Republicans, classic in the sense that they're not happy with Donald Trump. I don't see Donald Trump as a classic Republican at all. I don't even know. He's just. I don't know any nice way to classify him, to be honest. So that's my thoughts. And let me know what you guys think. And like I said, for this to work, it would seem that we would need more of a moderate Democrat or independent to bridge the gap that would have some things in common with the classic Republican, so that we could work together and get some of their votes and outnumber the Trump supporters and hopefully take him out of office. I made this video quick. I hope my thoughts came across clearly, and my little visual aid. All right, I'm gonna do some more. I'm gonna do some more on this subject. On the possibilities on how to vote Trump out of office in 2020. Like Bo was saying, not just being the anti-Trump. There's got to be. There's got to be a platform. What are people concerned about these days? That was one more thing I forgot that I want to talk about. I was thinking, what are people concerned about? Instead, now, not just being the anti-Trump, but what concerns people. And I thought, what concerns me the most? And honestly, the system of lobbyists and campaign reform. That's got to be way up there, because I feel that affects a variety of issues. Why? Because our will isn't being done. It's not. These guys get into office, and becomes all about the money and the lobbyists. They're doing whoever has the most money and has the ear of the politicians. Truly, the common man like us are not being represented whatsoever. It's whatever best for big oil, for big tobacco, for big pharma, for all those. That's what's leading the country. That's what all of our lawmakers are doing right now. The will of them, and that consequently that affects everything from our paychecks to tuition, to drug prices, to crime, to pollution, everything. So I see, to me, initially, I see lobbyists, campaign reform, campaign finance reform being one of my top issues. I think there's just a ton of corruption that comes along with that. So I think I would identify that as one of the main concerns of me, and I don't know. People like me, I'm not sure. Like I said, initially you want to say drug prices, that's a concern, but then I thought about it more, and I think that umbrella of campaign finance reform covers a lot of subjects. I'm running out of battery. All right, I'll continue this talk in my next video. Let me know what you guys think on what I'm saying here about Republicans and Trump supporters being two different animals right now. All right, you guys have a great Friday.